together again on the radio. And we have been following, I think, pretty consistently all of the bad news that has been making your life a living hell. The bad news of, might I say, all of the businesses that are out there going down, the other aspects of it, what's happened to the stock market. And, of course, we've also talked to you about your money and what to do about this. The layoffs continue. FedEx Freight is going to lay off 900 people. That's one of the latest. 900 people now at FedEx going to be laid off. And it's actually a shorter list than we've seen in other weeks, which could be good news. But nonetheless, FedEx has had other layoffs. This is just the latest round of layoffs. And I've got to tell you that, the stock market has, it seems, stabilized. For those of you who don't follow the stock market because it's too depressing, maybe you lost too much money in the stock market through your 401k or your IRA, your mutual funds, whatever. The stock market appears to have stabilized a bit. That doesn't mean it's going through the roof. It also doesn't mean that it's continuing to drop triple digits every day, which for a while it seemed that was going to go on until we got down to zero. That seems to have stabilized. But there was a list, I saw a list of companies likely to go out of business in 2009. Did you see this? Companies likely to go out of business in 2009. And they named specific companies. And they're not just talking about layoffs. They're not just talking about, some cutbacks. They're talking about more companies going out of business in 2009. Now, without getting into the entire list, the names of companies that are thought to be going out of business in 2009 includes, and this was just the opinion of one particular website, Chrysler. Finally, after all the years of bailouts and TV commercials and what have you, Chrysler. Well, wait a minute now. All of a sudden, somebody's talking in the background. Chrysler, Sirius Satellite Radio. Remember they were going to have the big merger and that was going to solve their problems? Sirius still hasn't made a penny. Oh, another one that is cutting back jobs, another one that's laying off is Nissan. Nissan, not an American company, of course, but they do have American jobs. Nissan is going to lay off 20,000 people. But they won't all be here in the United States. Wow. But yes, Chrysler and Sirius Satellite Radio are two companies predicted to be going out of business this year. Also, a chain called Claire's Stores, which I don't really know that chain. Apparently it's a women's clothing chain. Was predicted to be going out of business. Bunch of them. And yeah, you see these lists all the time. Who's going to go out of business this year? It's like the Deadpool for businesses. And I guess that's a whole other game people could play. Maybe they play that on Wall Street. We do the Deadpool of celebrities. Maybe down on Wall Street they do the Deadpool of companies who'll be dead by a year from now. But nonetheless, we have tried to get you through this by giving you advice on your money. Well, that's right, Dean. Thank you, Krispy Kreme. That's a company that I thought had already gone out of business or had filed for bankruptcy because they fell off a cliff pretty fast after that big expansion. They seem to disappear. But what I'm talking to you about now is this. We have tried to help you out because, as you know, I have had some good luck in my life as a result of hard work, as a result of taking big risks that the average person would not take. And I have also been a self-educated investor and have had a relatively conservative investment portfolio over the years that has held me in good stead during these tough times. I'm a self-made multimillionaire. What I've tried to do is I have tried to help you guys during this hard economic time with real financial advice that does not involve taking crapshoots. It does not involve flipping houses. It does not involve investing in gold or silver. It involves getting your balance sheet in line, which is what everybody should be doing. Cutting spending, increasing your savings, preparing for the emergencies ahead, and being ready for whatever might come our way. Folks, the party is over. It's over. The party of spending, the party of going to Starbucks and spending $50 a week on your Starbucks card, the party of having every new gadget the minute it comes out, the party of having 23 flat-screen TVs in your house, the party of having your car upgraded every year or two. The party's over, clearly. You need to have cash on hand. You need to have cash available to you for emergencies, for unemployment. What happens? This has happened to many people. Have you ever heard of this? Your landlord is not a big company. Your landlord owns a 6-unit apartment complex, and he's just an individual, okay? Just an individual. And you're paying rent to this individual. You're one of the 6 people renting apartments from this guy. And suddenly he gets foreclosed upon. You didn't do anything wrong. You paid your rent. And suddenly you find yourself with an eviction notice. These are the kinds of things that are happening that you can't predict, and you need to be ready. And the ways you need to be ready are to keep your debt down to a minimum, 0 if possible. Do not rent money. If you owe money, do not owe it on a credit card. Credit card should be at a 0 balance. 0. And we used to recommend a 6-month emergency fund for you in case of emergencies. The FU fund now must be 12 months of expenses. 12 months. That means you have to sit down and either do it with a pencil and a piece of paper, or I would prefer you do it with a software program like Quicken. Figure out what your actual monthly expenses are. And trust me, they're 2 to 3 times what you think they are. Figure out what your monthly expenses are. Multiply that number by 12. You need that money in the bank as a liquid asset in an FDIC insured account in case you need it. You need to be prepared to be out of work for a year or more. No more living on the edge, folks. You can't do it. You cannot do it right now. I never recommend that you do. I always recommend you be prepared for emergencies because you never know when another 9/11 is going to happen or something crazy. You don't know. You need to be prepared. And Americans don't like saving, don't like planning, they don't like layaway. We want what we want now. You can't afford to be a now person. You can't. So what I try to do when we do these hours of the program is I try to educate you on how to keep your powder dry, how to be prepared for emergencies, how to avoid rolling the dice and treating life like a casino. The reason I'm where I am now financially, I mean, come on, Ed McMahon went bankrupt, okay? So just because somebody is on the air doesn't mean that they have been smart with their money. It doesn't, okay? The reason I am in good condition today and not begging for bailouts, not doing commercials with MC Hammer on the Super Bowl is because I have always lived beneath my means. Always. And I know Americans hate to do this. This is what you need to do. Fortunately for you, there's nothing embarrassing about this since it's what everyone needs to do. And I think saving money right now is a lot cooler than spending and looking like a fool. I watched the Grammy Awards and saw the outfits people were wearing and stuff, and it all looks so dated at this point. People spending $10,000 on an outfit they're going to wear one time. What planet do these people live on? You know, the vast majority of those people on the Grammy Awards going to be MC Hammer one day. They're going to be. They can't see it, but it's true. And that means you, Neo, or any of you guys, you're all going to be in the same boat with very few exceptions. Those of you who are popular today, most of you will not be popular in 5 years. You won't. You won't. I'm just letting you know. You need to be saving and planning and doing all that boring stuff that your parents probably tried to tell you to do, and you paid no attention to them. And now look where it got you. So if you've got questions about your personal finances, remember, I'm not a certified financial planner. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a stockbroker. I don't have college credentials. I learned about money by being conservative, reading books, reading the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Barron's, all the business publications. I am self-taught. I am a self-taught multimillionaire. And I am here to share what I know with you. So if you've got questions about your personal finances, now is your time to call in and ask.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-8666. The Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, yeah. The Tom Leykis Show. Now with shorter commercial breaks, fewer commercials, and the most phone calls we've ever taken. Oh, yeah. Even you boob, you could dial in here and get in at 1-800-5800-TOM. It's 1-800-5800-866. Let's say hello to Andrew on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, how are you?
Doing okay.
Well, I just wanted to give you a call. I've been listening to you since I was 19 years old. I'm 24 now. I had a serious girlfriend at the time. Just about a year. I was a psychology major at a fine liberal arts institution out here in Southern California. And
which meant that you, wait, let me guess, that meant you didn't know what you wanted to be when you grew up.
Exactly. And
so you wasted your college education studying something you really had no interest in.
Well, I eventually switched, I think somewhat thanks to you, to mathematical economics and just minored in psychology.
All right.
And I started a company in college, didn't really take off, although maybe it will down the road, but I taught the SATs for a little while, and then I was looking at my life and thinking, what should I possibly get into that's going to make me the kind of money that I want to make by the time I'm 30 or 35. And was interested in commercial real estate, interested in finance, being a stockbroker or a financial planner. But eventually decided to get more of a kick out of being a commercial real estate broker. And in order to do that, I had to support myself, for the first 12 to 18 months, take a big risk and invest in myself. And now, I have about 40 grand in credit card debt.
Wait a minute, stop right there. Stop right there. Why do you have 40 grand in credit card debt?
Because a man's got to live while putting himself through training. I mean,
why didn't you work at another job for a year and put some money away?
I was impatient and self-confident, and I've
stupid.
Well, I mean, now I have some deals in escrow. Once the escrow's closed, fingers crossed, knock on wood, I'll have 50 grand coming in from those two deals alone.
Well, if I were you, I'd take that and apply it directly to the credit cards and retire that debt immediately.
Oh, I can't wait, Tom. Believe me. I have most of my debt at 0%. Because
No, you don't. No, you don't. You had 0% for 6 months.
Exactly. And most of that's going to be over in May. So I took a big risk, but it looks like I'm going to come out alive, and thought this, wanted to talk to you. I thought this would be a good excuse. I haven't had a serious girlfriend since I was 19.
Good.
I, get laid regularly. I could use more advice of maintaining a bullpen. I'm okay.
We'll do that. We'll do that on 101. But right now we're talking about money.
Yeah.
So what is your question?
My question, I suppose, is do you approve of what I've done?
No,
Or
I
do you
don't
think it
approve
was
of
insane?
$40,000 in credit card debt is insanity. Insanity. Because you were not paying 0% when you borrowed that money. You were paying 18 to 24%, weren't you?
Well, then I've done several things to build up my credit from the time I was 18 to the time I was 23. Paid it down a couple times when I was working. And then you can do various things like transferring a balance, paying a one-time fee of 3%, and having that balance transfer fixed at 0% for 12 months. You can give yourself cash advances at 7%, where you write yourself like a courtesy check. It's not exactly a cash advance, but that's where they...
Don't they also charge a fee? Don't they also charge a fee every time you do that?
That's about a 1.5% fee. So, I mean, you know, it costs money to borrow money. But if you do it right, you can do it with credit cards.
Yeah, but the way the world does it when they're doing it right is they take a loan from the bank.
You know, I sometimes wish I had done that. You know, the revolving credit will have to build it up a little bit at a time as sort of...
This is the most expensive. The only way that's more expensive to borrow money is to get an advance refund from one of those tax preparation agencies or a payday loan. I mean, this is one of those expensive ways to borrow money.
Do you suppose if I had gone to a bank and asked for a $50,000 personal loan or small business loan to become an independent contractor, they would have gone for it?
I don't know. Do you have anything that you could use as collateral?
Not really, other than myself and my expensive college education.
Well, then what you should have done is worked for a year and put the money away.
Well, then I'd be a year behind.
A year behind what?
Where I am now.
But the point is, you didn't... the point is that you're behind in other ways because that credit card debt is going to come due. And by the way, just because you've got stuff in escrow, as anyone who's seen the signs that said in escrow and then for sale again, especially in economic times like these, something in escrow doesn't mean anything.
That's certainly some truth to that. Absolutely. I mean...
And so if you don't get the 50 G's that you're planning on getting, you're going to be paying how much? 12, 14, 16% a year on that credit card debt?
Yeah, I mean, there's always more deals moving forward.
But do you know what you're doing to your credit rating? Let's talk about your FICO score for a second.
My credit rating went from 760 to 680 in the last year.
All right. It's going to continue going in that direction.
I know, until I can, zero those balances. I can't wait.
It's not just zeroing the balances. Every time you move, you transfer a balance from bank to bank to bank, they know what you're up to. They know. And you pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do not recommend continuing to play these games. You know, it's one thing when you have an unexpected brain tumor or you get hit by a bus. Right. I'll buy it. That didn't happen to you.
No, I just didn't want to work, at a 40 or 45 grand job for a year. I wouldn't be able to put away enough to survive for a year. I mean, there's some. Then
you do it for 2 years.
No
then you do it for 2
No.
years. I mean, pal, I got to tell you something. I worked at plenty of jobs that paid crap as I worked my way up. What I didn't do is run my credit card debt up above $4,000. That's as high as I went.
Yeah.
And you think I didn't have expenses moving from city to city?
I know.
No help from my parents?
Yeah.
I mean, I was on my own. And I don't think you needed $40K in expenses either. Sorry.
Well, I'd probably, sometimes I would hurt myself for the hard work I was doing with expensive crap, which was probably not
right.
good.
Now the truth is coming out. The expensive crap you've been buying.
Yeah.
You did this to yourself, and you didn't have to do it, but you did it. You were not willing to sacrifice, and that's why you're in the crapper now.
Well, I don't feel like I'm in the crapper, but,
Well, you're $40,000 in debt. What's your current income? Forget the two things that are supposedly in escrow. What is your current income?
I work a commission-only job, Tom.
Commission only. So your income is zero.
Zero.
Zero. And where do you live, perchance?
I live in about a half a block from the beach.
Oh, a half a block from the beach. Well, I'm sure that's $200 a month, right?
Something like that, Tom.
Yeah, well, maybe more like $2,700 a month.
No, it's a small studio. I'm not extravagant.
How much?
$10.95.
$10.95 a month.
Uh-huh.
I see. And you can afford $10.95 a month in rent with no income.
I can for about another 4 or 5 months, I figure.
No, you can't because you're already at zero and you're in the negative numbers. What are your roommates' names?
No, I live by myself in my studio.
You can afford to do that, huh?
Well, I mean, I can afford to if I pull this off, you know?
But what if you don't?
I'm not the kind of guy who sort of...
See, you have turned life into Caesar's palace. You are rolling the dice. You're living close to the edge.
I know.
You played it like it's a progressive jackpot.
That's kind of how I roll, Tom. I'm a pilot.
Yeah, well, you're gonna roll right into bankruptcy, pal. You've got all the symptoms.
I know. It was bankrupt or go big, you know? I'm planning on going big, and I'm sort of on track to do so.
Oh, you think so?
I'll give you a call in another 3 months, but can you take me out with a bong yet?
Oh, I'll take you out with something. Here you go.
Thank you, Tom.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. Now heard 6 days a week, 3 to 8 p.m. As you head home Monday through Friday. Saturdays 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk and at blowmeuptom.com. All right, when you need us most, here we are trying to help you out with your money at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. It's Irving on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how's it going?
Great.
Hey, good to talk to you. I was listening to your advice about, saving money, having the zero debt, having the 12 months of the FU fund. That all sounds great, but here's my dilemma and the problem is, isn't that the exact opposite of what they want us to do to stimulate the economy? Aren't we supposed to go out there and shop and buy stuff and go to the movies?
It's the opposite. Yes.
So
it's the opposite.
So is there a balance? How can we strike that? How can I help?
You don't have to strike a balance. You have to do what's good for you first.
Okay. Well, if everybody does that, then we're never
Everybody's not going to do it. Most morons are going to keep spending, but not you.
Okay. Because, this weekend I was shot with a little dilemma, like buying some crazy, more stuff.
No.
Should I save? Should I help the economy? I'm trying to justify it,
Cut back. Cut back on everything.
Okay.
By the way, big companies are cutting back. They're not spending. They're laying people off and cutting back on capital expenditures. Why shouldn't you do that?
Okay, so you think that even if all of us who are listening to you do exactly and save, there's still going to be enough people spending to help?
Well, put it this way. They'll be the stupid ones padding your bank account.
Okay. All right, awesome. Well, that's wanted to hear what your thoughts about that. And if you can take me out African tribal style, please.
I certainly can, Irving. Rick on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Tom?
Not much, Rick.
Right now, I'm in debt. I'm about $3,000 in debt, and I was trying to figure out a way how to pay it off quickly.
Get a second job.
Second job?
Yes. How many credit cards do you owe?
Just one.
Okay. Get a second job.
Okay.
Moonlight. Work weekends.
Okay, because before I even came out here, my credit score was like 750. But then when I came out here, like everything like went down.
Well, chances are you changed banks.
Yeah, I did. Exactly.
Okay. And when you changed banks, you probably changed your Visa or MasterCard. And whatever card you had before had been established for a few years. And you got credit for that before. And now when you have new credit cards, so you'll lose points for that.
Okay.
Probably you'll lose points for other things that happen when you move as well. Applying for credit, applying for a new credit card, applying for credit when you rented your apartment.
Okay.
All of these things will take some points off your credit for the time being.
Would you suggest like cutting off internet and cable and all that just to pay it off quicker too?
I would suggest to everybody that they batten down the hatches and cut anything they think they can afford to give up so they can be debt-free.
Yeah.
You want to be debt-free.
Right.
Because right now you're paying to rent that money. Do you know what the interest rate is on your credit card for credit card debt?
No, I don't know.
Well, that's one thing. You need to educate yourself about that. You need to know how much you're paying.
Okay.
You can be paying anywhere from 7 to 25% on that credit card.
Okay.
But whatever it is, let's say it's the average of 18%. 18%, you're paying $540 a year in simple interest just to keep that $3,000 in credit.
Right.
Is it worth it?
No, it's not worth it.
No, it's not.
But should I? So after I take care of that, then I can save?
Oh, yes, but the debt comes first because even when you're saving money,
Right.
your average bank account right now is paying less than 1% interest.
Okay.
So that means any debt you have where you are paying more than 1%, you need to pay that first.
All right. Cool. Yeah. I just wanted to...
It's not. I want to tell you, I know it's not very sexy, and I know it's not what people want to hear.
Right.
But I'm telling you, it is the key to survival.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Tom. Can you take me out Kobe style?
Absolutely, Rick.
All right.
This is about us. She's so special to me. Yeah, it beats in my heart. Yeah, the air I breathe. She's so special to me.
Hamilton on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. I'm a little nervous, but I appreciate all the advice you're giving us about the finances. And I think I have a pretty simple question. It's about the emergency money fund.
Yeah,
which
the
I
FU
think
fund,
is
yes.
Huh?
The FU fund, yes.
Yeah, which I think is a very good idea to have that. And I want to even have a little more than 12 months. But my question for you is, the bank, pays no interest, and it could be, you need at least like $4,000 a month, so it could be like, quite a bit of money. Do we just put it in the bank with hardly any interest, or is there
right now? Yes, because there's no safe places to keep your money, but the FDIC will insure up to $250,000. The important thing right now is preservation of capital.
Okay, so we don't even want to, put it in a money market fund at Schwab or anything?
No, do you know why? Because money market funds right now, Vanguard, where I have money, is paying 0.33%. Not 3.3%, 0.33%.
Oh, yeah, and that's
now, I would rather sleep well at night than to put my money in for 0.33% interest.
Uh-huh. And so since the banks are all FDIC, you don't recommend that it matters which one we put it in, worrying about which one is safer or that type?
No. Well, I mean, put it this way. The ones that list in the newspaper as having the highest interest rates are usually the next to go.
So we don't even want to go for the highest interest rate that way.
Well, look at what's happened to even banks that we thought were solid as a rock. Citibank, Bank of America, Washington Mutual. They've all been in the tank.
Yeah, it almost seems like you got to worry, like if you're worried about which bank is going to go next, you'd be switching your money every other week to a different bank.
Well, you might be, but if you're FDIC insured, you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. I think you've answered my question, and again, I appreciate all your advice.
Remember also, when you're at a bank, make sure whatever account you're in is FDIC insured. Because banks love to say, why don't you try our money market account? And they don't bother to tell you that a money market account is not FDIC insured.
Okay, so we should have that in writing on the account? Or
Well, it should certainly say that somewhere where you can see it.
Okay.
Make them tell you it's FDIC insured.
Okay, absolutely.
All right?
Okay.
Good luck.
Thanks, Tom.
Appreciate the call. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. Here comes Diane on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Great.
I have a question. I'm 22 years old, and I have debt, and it's close to $20,000.
Now, what exactly? I need to know this.
It's school.
You're 22.
Yeah.
What did you run up $20,000 in debt for?
Okay. For my school, I'm going into nursing. I started off with LVN, lower level nurse, and now I'm becoming a nurse. And my school ended up to be around, I would say, maybe $17,000, $18,000 just for my school.
And you borrowed that from credit cards?
Yes.
Why didn't you get a loan?
I wasn't thinking of a loan because I was thinking the APR would have been higher on the loan than it would on the credit cards, which the APRs are low right now, but then, yeah, I am paying for cash advances and all the fees and everything right now.
Right. And how much is the APR on that money once you get past the teaser rates and all that?
The APR on, I have two cards. The APR right now is at 3.99.
How much?
3.99.
That's a teaser rate.
And there's one that's at 0%, which I know that.
These are teaser rates. When the teaser rate ends, what are the real rates?
Yeah, which is sometimes it goes up to a default rate, which I already know that. That's like at
What is it, 36%?
24 to 36.
There we go. Now, darling, no student loan is 24 to 36%.
Yeah, and I was working, which, you know, how economy is, and I lost my job. So would you know by any chance if there's like some type of program or something, since I am jobless right now and I do have experience, but, you know, everything's at a freeze. How I can...
Wait, I still don't understand. We'll get to that. I still don't understand why you didn't get a student loan.
Parents just said, you know what, it's better off to get it at the credit card. We might pay for it later, but it never happened like that, so...
Well, they could pay your student loan off if you'd gotten a student loan. You could just pay it early.
Yeah, what can I do now? I know I can't get a student loan right now.
Yeah, well, the thing is, what I'm trying to point out to you never gave this any thought, did you?
Well, I thought about it, but I just, you know, at the student loan rate, it was, they told me that they'll give me like close to 10%, and I was looking at the APRs, and...
Well, you were looking at teaser rates, darling. You didn't know enough about credit. You were looking at the rates you get for the first 6 months or the first year.
Yeah, that's true.
But you were not going to owe that money for a year. You're going to owe that money for 5, 6, 7, 10 years.
Yeah, which is, I know I can't pay more than like $400 or $500 or close to $1,000 on credit cards every month. So, because I am still a student, so I just want to see.
Did you really think you were only going to owe this money for a year?
That's what I thought.
You really believe that?
Well, I don't believe it now, but...
All right, so you didn't know what you were doing, and you did something stupid.
Yep, that's true.
And your parents reneged on a promise.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right, you want to know if there's programs for what now?
No, I wanted to see is there anything like, let's say for like I'm a student, right, full time. I was working like 2 weeks ago, but you know how economy is. They're laying everybody off, even though you have experience. Is there anything that I can go down on my debt, or it's going to mess up my credit score?
It's going to mess up
my
your
credit score is high right now.
Yeah, it's going to mess up your credit score. Of course it is. If you turn out to be a deadbeat and don't pay your entire balance, yes, they're going to take points off your FICO score, no doubt.
It'll go, if I'm like 740, 750 right now, it'll go down to low 600.
I don't, you know, those formulas are kept a mystery, and they don't tell us really how they work.
Mm-hmm.
You might sign up for something like myfico.com where you have to pay, and it will educate you about FICO scores.
Oh, okay.
And you'll get all 3 of your credit scores there, and you have to pay a fee for it. It's just the one that I happen to use. There's plenty of services like that out there. I don't think any one of them is that much better than any other.
Oh, okay.
But you should look at that and learn how many points you're going to lose.
Oh, God.
Now, here's the part that you haven't told us yet, and here we are a little bit into the call. You told Dean something that you didn't tell me. Why don't you tell all of us?
Yeah, I made a mistake when I was kind of young.
You made another
20.
mistake. Wait. You made another mistake.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest mistake of my life.
I mean, so the other mistake was not the biggest. You haven't told us about the biggest one yet.
Yeah, I was with somebody, and I leased a car under my name for somebody else.
Beautiful. What do I tell you about doing that? What do I say about that on this program?
Don't ever do it.
Right, but you thought you knew more than me, right?
Yeah, which now I don't know what to do. I can't take the lease back. They told me that I won't be able to buy a car or anything for the next 7 years, close to 7 years or more. And I don't know what to do. So.
Well, how much time is left on your lease?
Until May of 2010. And
So May of 2010, so you get another 15 months or so to go. Well, did you ask them if they have a buyout clause? Can you pay the next 4 months up front and give the car back, for example?
Yeah, but this is an alternative car.
What do you mean it's an alternative car?
I have basically this is a second car, so I don't even drive it, more like it.
That's not my point.
Yeah, but to go
Darling,
buy
you're
out
trying to get out of a
there's
contract.
a trade-in, I can do that, yeah, but if I trade it in, I'm going to have to go get another car.
That's not what I said. I'm asking if there's a way you can turn the car in and pay several months' payments in exchange for them letting you out of the arrangement.
They told me that it's going to be a great amount of upside down, so it's better off they're telling me to keep the car, even if I have to trade it.
Who told you
the
that?
dealer. A couple dealers that I took it into, which is the car is a Mercedes. And
Why don't you go back to the dealer you leased it from?
Not the dealer I leased it from. The dealer, a couple of other Mercedes.
Why don't you go back to the dealer you leased it from?
I spoke with the person that sold me the car. He said the same thing. If I am to turn in the car, the value of it, I have a great amount of upside down, so it's better off to just keep the lease. Or besides taking it in or trading it in.
I'd run that by an attorney.
You think I should get an attorney?
And show him the contract you signed.
Uh-huh.
By the way, leasing cars, unless you own a company and you can write them off, I would never lease a car, ever.
Yeah.
Not for someone else and not for me. Live within your means, dear.
I know.
You got nothing. Do you understand you have zero?
Yeah, I know that.
You have zero.
And no
What
job.
business was it of yours to be leasing Mercedes-Benzes?
Excuse me, I didn't understand what you said.
What business, how did you have any business driving or leasing for someone else a Mercedes-Benz?
It was for somebody that I thought I was going to get.
So what?
married
I don't
to.
care. I don't care if you married them. You have no right to drive a Mercedes-Benz. You don't.
I don't even drive.
You have no right to be giving someone else a car to drive. You have nothing. Nothing. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
People with nothing should not be leasing, buying, or borrowing anybody's Mercedes-Benz.
Tom. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
The Tom Leykis Show. At 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. It's Darren on the Tom Leykis Show. We're talking about your money here. Hello.
Hello, how's it going, Tom?
Great.
Great. Hey, I had a question for you. there is a $5,000 tax credit that was signed in last year by Bush for first-time homebuyers. And I was wondering what you think about that. I don't have, I'm 29 and I'm married, and we don't have any debt besides a car loan. And we bought our first home, put 20% down, we saved, put 20% down, and I'm just wondering what you think about the $5,000 tax credit. I heard it's really not a tax credit. It's more like a loan.
I've heard that it is a credit, but by the same token, it's a piddling amount compared to what it's going to cost to own a home. And that's what you have to remember.
Sure.
Do you have the cashola to own a home?
Do I have enough cash to own a home?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and to operate
I have the 12-month FU fund sitting right in my bank account. Right. I'd be fine. I've been very smart with my money compared to most of your callers that have been calling in. No
debts?
What's that?
No debts?
No debts. No debts besides my wife has a car loan.
Okay.
That's it.
And you're talking about buying a home that you plan to live in for a minimum of 5 to 10 years.
Right. We actually already bought the home in June, but it's anyone who's bought a home in 2008 that you can apply for this tax credit. But from what I understand, it's not really a tax credit. It's actually an interest-free loan. Now, I haven't done much research. Well,
I'll tell you
what.
If I were you, I would call and ask that question of the authorities who are offering that credit. But by the way, if you can get an interest-free loan, I'd take that as well, if only just to get you up and running. I would take it and then pay it back. Our email address is tom@blowmeuptom.com.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. 97.1 FM Talk.